Sup guys, it's Alex here, and today we have my 7th or 8th bracketology update. I can't remember how many I've done, but there hasn't been a whole lot of movement. There's been a couple spots that have changed from the March 6th one, like Wichita State moving up to that 8 seed. I think they were either a 9 seed or they were a 7 seed and they fell, something like that. And there's been some teams entering to do the conference championships, like East Tennessee State moving in, Omaha moving in. Iona beat Siena last night to win their championship, and then Northern Kentucky is expected to win the Horizon League tonight. And so, as always, I'm going to go ahead and do my predictions based off of this bracket, and I created it, as always, on Bracketology.com. The link is right there, but I'll put it in the description so you guys can vote. And I just want to say thank you guys for voting so much in the last bracketology or bracket I posted on Bracketology. It already has over 10,000 votes, which is crazy. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description for you guys to fill it out, but let's go ahead and get this thing started. First round, we got Kansas beating 16 North Dakota, then Wichita State beating VCU, Virginia beating Nevada, Purdue beating Akron, St. Mary's beating Vanderbilt. Though Vanderbilt could upset St. Mary's there, St. Mary's just killed BYU last night, and they might beat Gonzaga tonight to win the WCC championship. Then UCLA is going to beat Cal State Bakersfield. Oklahoma State's going to beat Providence. Louisville's going to beat Northern Kentucky. Didn't have a single upset in that side of the bracket, but there's more to come. Don't worry. Gonzaga is going to win. I think Northwestern is going to beat Virginia Tech. SMU is going to beat USC because Xavier's been falling. I think USC is going to beat Xavier in the first 4 games. Then Duke's going to beat Princeton. Iowa State's going to beat Wake Forest. I don't even think Illinois State's going to be able to make it into the tournament. They have no control over their own destiny right now, and if a bubble team ends up winning one of the major conferences, they're going to be out. Butler's going to beat Florida Gulf Coast. Marquette's going to beat South Carolina. Oregon's going to beat UC Irvine. Villanova's going to beat Mount St. Mary's. Miami, Florida is going to beat Michigan. I think UNC Wilmington's going to pull off the upset here and beat Notre Dame. I don't think anybody's really going to pick UNC Wilmington to beat them. But UNC Wilmington's on a pretty good hot streak right now, and I think they'll end up pulling off the upset there. And Florida's going to beat East Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee is going to beat Wisconsin. I know I have a lot of Wisconsin fans down in my comment sections from previous videos, but I think they've been falling recently, and I think Middle Tennessee is going to upset them because they've only had 1 loss in the conference, and they've been doing really good this season. 3 Florida State's going to beat 14 Winthrop. Seton Hall, fresh off a win against Butler at Butler, is going to beat the faltering Maryland Terrapins. 2 Baylor is going to beat 15 Omaha. 1 North Carolina is going to beat the 16 seed Jacksonville State. 8 Dayton's going to beat 9 Arkansas. Cincinnati is going to beat UT Arlington. Vermont, I think, is going to pull off the upset against West Virginia. Vermont just killed, and I think their semifinal last night by 30 or 40 points, but we'll see what happens there. Now, a lot of people are going to pick Syracuse to upset Minnesota here. But I think Minnesota is going to be able to pull out the win with Richard Pitino coaching them. Arizona is going to beat Bucknell. I think Creighton's going to beat Michigan State. I know in the last bracketology update video I made, I think only one out of the first 30 votes, I think Syracuse as a 10 seed was outvoting Creighton 29-1, which is crazy, but I think that Creighton would beat Michigan State if this matchup were to happen. Kentucky's going to beat Iona. And now for a spot in the Sweet 16, I think Kansas is going to beat Wichita State, but I think Wichita State could pull off the upset there. I'll have to go with Kansas. Then Virginia's going to beat Purdue as a 5 seed, beating a 4. Then I think St. Mary's is actually going to beat UCLA in this one. Now, in my previous brackets, I've picked UCLA to win the national championship, but I'm going to go with something different here. I don't think anybody's really going to pick this to happen, but I think St. Mary's is going to upset UCLA there. Then Oklahoma State will lose to number 2 Louisville. Gonzaga is going to move past Northwestern. Duke is going to beat SMU. I think Butler is going to move past Iowa State. I want to pick Iowa State to beat Butler. I think I did in the last video, but I'm going to have to go with Butler here. Then Oregon's going to beat Marquette. Villanova is going to beat Miami, Florida, but that could be another upset pick right there, an 8 seed beating a 1 seed. Then Florida is going to beat UNC Wilmington. Florida State's going to beat Middle Tennessee, though I can see Middle Tennessee moving on past that. Then Baylor's going to beat Seton Hall. North Carolina is going to beat Dayton. Cincinnati is going to beat Vermont. And then I think Minnesota is going to pull off the upset over Arizona and move on to the Sweet 16. Then Kentucky is going to beat Creighton. Then I think Virginia is actually going to pull off the upset here as a 5 seed, beating the 1 seed to move on to the Elite 8. Then Louisville is going to move on to the Elite 8 past St. Mary's. St. Mary's Cinderella run's going to end right there. Then Duke is going to beat Gonzaga. Then Oregon's going to beat Butler. Then I think Villanova is going to beat Florida. And then Florida State's going to beat Baylor. North Carolina is going to beat Cincinnati. And then Kentucky will beat Minnesota. And then for a spot in the Final Four, an ACC matchup here, Virginia's beaten Louisville twice so far this season, both times both at Louisville and at home, and I think they're going to continue and finish out the season 3-0, move on to the Final Four as a 5 seed. Then Oregon's going to beat Duke. Villanova is going to move past Florida State into the Final Four, and then Kentucky's going to beat North Carolina. Kentucky beat them 103-100 earlier in the season. That was when Kentucky was trying to discover who they were as a team, and Malik Monk went off for 47 points. Don't think he's going to get 47 points this time around, but I think they're going to be able to pull out the win. Then Oregon is going to beat Virginia. Villanova is going to beat Kentucky. Unfortunately, I'm a Kentucky fan, but I think Villanova is a better team there. And then Villanova, I think, will beat Oregon with Josh Hart leading them to the national championship, just like they did last year, and repeat as national champions. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and vote on this bracket, and leave your thoughts below on how you're reacting to this bracketology update and what you think the actual bracket's going to be, and if anybody was misseeded in your eyes. I think UCLA should be higher than the 3 seed, but oh well. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you guys in the next bracketology video.